Court Associate Justice Clarence Thomas is once again in the crosshairs of liberals. Attacks against him have been going on and on and on since his confirmation hearings in 1991, when President George Herbert Walker Bush had the audacity to nominate a black conservative to take the Supreme Court seat of Thurgood Marshall. Thomas's confirmation hearings provided a laboratory showing how low liberals are willing to go to try and discredit a conservative, even more so one who is black. Now, liberal journalists are having their field day because it just so happens that Thomas's wife, Ginni, is a conservative like him, is an American patriot like him, and is personally invested, like her husband, in safeguarding our Constitution's integrity, written as its framers wrote in its preamble to secure the blessings of liberty. Clarence Thomas does it as the court's longest sitting justice and perhaps its most principled and consistent conservative. Ginni Thomas does it as a conservative activist involved in many conservative organizations in Washington, D.C. For years, liberals attempted to diminish Thomas as a lackey of the late Justice Antonin Scalia. Now, as Thomas shines as the court's leading conservative voice, they want to diminish him as a lackey of his wife. The sparks were flamed, hoping to create a forest fire by alleging these conflict of interest allegations in a New Yorker's article by a liberal, Jane Meyer, who has made her career of hatchet job journalism aimed at conservatives. And that article opened the door to now this new onslaught of other liberal hit pieces, now to the point that the Congressional Committee investigating the riots at the Capitol on January 6, 2021, are mulling over whether they should subpoena Ginni because of some obscure text messages that she sent to a friend inside the White House top tier around the incident. But where were all these liberal journalists now egging on this story when the New York Post broke a story months before the election, presidential election in 2020, about emails on Hunter Biden's laptop showing what he was doing, the business deals, the profiting on his father's position, his father then being the vice president? Hunter Biden even cut his father a piece of one of the deals. The story went unreported throughout the entire presidential election in 2020. Only now, the New York Times thinks, well, maybe there's some relevancy here, we should report it. Only now they're seeing it's a real story. Oh, how about President Biden's nominee for vice chairman of supervision of the Federal Reserve Board, Sarah Bloom Raskin? Her husband, Congressman Jamie Raskin, he was hit with a House ethics violation for late reporting of a $1.5 million stock sale by his wife in a firm where she may have had a conflict of interest. Or we could, of course, discuss America's most favorite power couple, Bill and Hillary Clinton, now worth tens of millions of dollars despite careers in politics and public service. The fact is, there is no decision that Clarence Thomas has ever made on the Supreme Court that cannot be traced directly to his rigorous and principled scholarship and commitment to the U.S. Constitution, period. Similar, Ginni Thomas, who sat on my board of my organization, curepolicy.org, for some 15 years, I know her well, and I know she's motivated by one thing: preservation of our nation as a free country under God. We owe thanks to both Ginni and Clarence Thomas for their relentless struggle to preserve the integrity of our Constitution and the principles that keep our nation free. So the liberal media, they need to back off this newfound love to distort realities that just impugn the reputations of innocent American patriots. Their job, media job, is not to create news. It is just to report the facts.